Okay, so today we are going to be making a elastic waist straight stretch skirt from stretch fabric. Okay, so for that you're going to need 1 yard or 1.5 yards of stretch fabric of choice. Please avoid any stripes or crazy patterns. Simple abstract patterns or plain fabric is best. Um, so you're going to need 1 to 1.5 yards of stretch fabric, 58 to 60 inches wide. You're going to need some pins or some clips. I'm going to be using some clips. You're going to need a measurement tape. You're going to need some Tailors chalk. You're going to need some elastic, a fabric scissors, and a ruler. I'm going to be using a square. So any straight edge ruler will do, long, a yardstick or so. And of course, you're going to need a sewing machine. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so normally your fabric will either come folded like this or on a short bolt or on a long bolt. Will be entire thing will be open out. So you're going to make sure the top edge of your fabric is straight. If it's not straight, straighten it off. Then you're going to fold your fabric in half like this, with the wrong sides facing you and the right sides facing together. Then you're going to fold it over again. So this is going to be 1/4 of your skirt. So this is going to be 1/4 of your skirt. Make sure it's laid nice and flat. Now you should have 4 pieces here folded in 1/4. So I already straightened out the top of my fabric. Your elastic is going to be 1.5 inches wide, right? You can get about 1 yard. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is fold down the top straight edge of the skirt to 2 inches. This is for your elastic. So this will be your elastic casing. So you're going to fold it down and pin it 2 inches. Make sure it's laying nice and flat. Measure it and make sure it's 2 inches. Next, you're going to measure from the folded top 1/4 of your waist measurement minus 1 inch. So if your waist is 40 inches, 1/4 of that is going to be 10 inches. So less 1 inch, going to be 9 inches. So you're going to measure from the folded area here, going across. This here is the center. This will be the center back and the center front. There's 2 pieces of your skirt. This is the top, your waist. This folded edge is your casing to insert your elastic. So from your folded here, and it's facing you, you're going to measure across 1/4 of your waist measurement less 1/2 inch. Right? Then you're going to measure down your hip depth. Now, if your hip is up to 38 inches, you can measure 8 inches down from the top of your waist down. If your hip is up to 46, 47 inches, you measure 9 inches down from the top of your waist. That is your hip depth. And if your hip is 48 inches wide and beyond, you're going to measure 10 inches down. Right? So you will need your waist measurement, your hip measurement, and the length of your skirt. Now you're going to measure across your hip depth line, which is mine is 10 inches because I have wide hips. You're going to measure across 1/4 of your hip measurement less 1 inch. So my hip is 48 inches. 1/4 of that will be 12 minus 1 inch will be 11 inches. Right? So 1/4 of your hip less 1 inch. And then from the top of your folded waist, you're going to measure down your skirt length plus 2 inches. So my skirt length is going to be 30 inches plus 2 inches. So that's going to be 32 inches. For my skirt length. So your skirt length from the top of your folded waist area down to the bottom is the length of that you want your skirt plus 2 inches. That extra 2 inches is for the hem of your skirt. Then you're going to draw a straight line all the way across. Where you have this line for your hem, you're going to measure down. Make sure the line is straight. Right, you're going to measure down from the folded edge of your hem. You're going to measure across 1/4 of your hip plus 1/4 of your hip across minus 1 inch. So the same measurement that is going to be here across your hip is the same measurement it's going to be by your hem. Mine is going to be 11 inches. 32, 32. Then you're going to take that line, connect with your ruler from your hip down to your hem. So you're connecting from your hip down to your hem, like this, straight line. And then you're going to curve from your waist to your hip, like that. Now, you're going to add 1/2 inch seam allowance on the outside of this line. So that is the amount you're going to be stitching in for your skirt. And then you connect that line all the way down to your hip, all the way down to your hem. Okay? So let's recap this before we cut. Your fabric is folded in 4, stress side going across. You're going to fold down the top edge 2 inches. Then you're going to measure from, this is your fold here, front and back, there's 2 pieces. So you're going to measure from the folded area here going across your waist, 1/4 of your waist measurement, less 1 inch. Then you're going to go down from the top here and you measure down your hip depth. Up to 38, you measure 8 inches. Up to 46, you measure 44, 46, you measure 9. And from 48 beyond, you measure down 10. Then you're going to measure from the top of your waist, folded waist, all the way down to the length that you want your skirt to be, plus 2 inches. Here now you're going to measure across from your hip depth on the folded area. You're going to measure across 1/4 of your hip measurement, less 1 inch. Then down to the hem, you're going to measure that same measurement, 1/4 of your hip measurement, less 1 inch. Then you're going to connect your waist, your hip, all the way down to your hem. Then we're going to add 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch from your inner line outwards all the way down. That will be your seam allowance. All right. And now you're just going to cut this off. So you cut your hem and you cut on your seam allowance line. All the way up to your waist. So this is your skirt that you have just made here. Quick and easy. So you should have 2 pieces. This will be your skirt. So now we're just going to go to the sewing machine and stitch the side. We're going to stitch the side, complete the skirt. Stitch the sides, put in your elastic and hem your skirt. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to close your skirt up by stitching in that half, starting from the waist. Follow the shape and stitch in 1/2 of an inch. Always remember at the beginning of your stitches and at the end to back tack your seams or your stitches, I should say, to prevent it from undoing. So you make a few stitches, back tack, and then you come forward. And you stitch all the way down. Back tack your stitches at the end, clip your thread, and you do the other side. Same procedure. Back stitch. Now, if you have a serger, you can serge your side seams. If you don't have a serger, you could just zigzag it. If your machine has a zigzag stitch in it, just zigzag the seams to clean it up. For the sake of time, I'm just going to leave mine like that. Oh, so now we're going to put in the elastic in the waist. If your fabric is thickish like this one, you open your seams. So if you're opening your seams, you zigzag separately or you serge separately. If you're closing your seams, if the material is finished, you can close your seams and just zigzag it all the way down. Then you're gonna, this is the top of your waist here, you're gonna just fold down about 1/4 of an inch and stitch that down. This will make it easier for you to install your elastic. Now take your time, especially if it's your first time. Take your time with your stitches. Do not go too fast. Just take your time to complete your skirt. So now we're going to install the elastic. Remember, your elastic is 1.5 inches wide. So you're going to be folding down. This was cut 2 inches. You use 1/4 inch to turn in like this. So you're going to fold it down 1 1/4 inch, 1 3/4 inches in case you're elastic. Now, for your elastic, you cut your elastic 11 inches. You cut your elastic 11 inches smaller than your waist. 11 inches smaller than your waist. If you like your elastic firm and tight. If you prefer a little looser waist, you could cut it like about 14 inches. Like about 9 inches smaller instead of 11. Okay? So I like my elastic firm because I like to feel it holding my waist. So now you're going to lap it over like this, 1/2 inch. And back stitch. Now this is the way I insert my elastic waistband. But if you are not too comfortable doing this for now, what you can do, you can fold down your 1 3/4 inches and stitch all the way around. Just leave an opening at one side of your pins here. At one side of your, so you can leave an opening about 2 inches and start stitching this from the pin here all the way around 1 3/4 inches down. That is to make sure you have enough to stitch without the elastic getting stuck in there. And you stitch it all the way around and you come to the end here. So you have an opening here. And with your elastic open out, you take your elastic and you pin it through, pin it, the safety pin, and you thread it through all the way around. When you reach to the end, you pull it and you lap it 1/2 inch like I just did to close it off. And then you remove your pins and just you close this opening here. For those of you who this method is okay, just lap it 1/2 inch and you back stitch, tighten it, and then now I'm going to insert it like this. My seams are open. I'm going to put my elastic in case like this. So this is my fabric here. This is my elastic. I'm going to fold it over 1/4 inch more than the width of the elastic, so that I don't stitch the elastic while I sew it in. So my thread has broke. Sometimes these threads have some little hairs when you clip them, so the best thing to do is clip it as an angle. Ooh, very good. Clip it at an angle to clip it at an angle like this so it can go through your needle eye. I can't believe this. This thread is so hairy. I'm not getting it to go through. There we go. Jeez. And I'm wearing my glasses. So, yes, sometimes some of these threads are very hairy when you cut it. So instead of cutting it straight like this, the thread through your needle, always cut it on an angle. And you have to keep clipping it until you don't see the hairiness fraying out. Otherwise, it's not going to go through the needle. So you put this underneath here like this. So remember, I have this folded over 1/4 of an inch wider than my elastic. Then I'm gonna go slow, and you encase your elastic into your waist. Be careful, especially if you're doing it like this, to take your time because the elastic could get caught up, and then you will have to undo it all over again. So take your time. Forget to open your seam. If you're opening your seams, please press them open. So they stay nice and flat. I clip my threads at the end after I backstitch and tighten my thread. Now I'm just going to even it out like this. I wouldn't have too much gathers here. We don't need no set of gathers from the elastic because we want it to fit on like a waistband. So you're just barely going to have any gathers on it, right? And what I like to do, because sometimes the elastic have a way, it tends to turn inside your casing and get all twisted up after a while. So to avoid that, I put a stitch in the seam of your waist here on the elastic itself. That is going to keep the elastic in place and it would not get all twisted and tangled up in there. Or eventually, if you don't do that, eventually it does that. Yes, and make sure you have a firm elastic also. Try to avoid those soft elastic for your elastic waistband, so that don't get all bent up and stuff. And you tighten that there. And last but not least, I'm going to hem the skirt. So you open your seams. They should be already open if you press them out. Or if they're closed seams. Now remember, we allotted 2 inches at the hem. But we're going to make this finished hem 1.5 inch. So to do so, you're going to first fold down 1/2 of an inch, like so. And then you're going to fold it again to 1.5 inches. Now, I suggest that you pin your hem all the way around to keep it nice and straight. Or if you feel you can handle it, like I do, I just measure it. So it's either you pin it all the way around, folded, 1/2 and then 1.5 inches, pin it all the way around, or if you could handle this, I just fold mine like this. And I use the tape to measure as I sew to make sure it's even. This is 1.5. To make sure it's even all the way around. Just like your elastic waistband, you're going to go slow with this. So you fold 1/2 inch, then you fold up or fold down 1.5. And you stitch it all the way around. That way you could ensure that your hem is even. Your stitching is even and straight. And you go slow too, because sometimes certain stitches you're doing too fast, the machine tends to sway off and on, so you get crooked stitches. You don't want any crooked stitches. So you keep folding 1/2 inch and then 1.5 inch all the way around. And you slowly hem your skirt. So this may seem a little long because I'm taking my time to show you how to make the skirt, but it's pretty much an easy, quick and easy way. As long as you know how to use your sewing machine and you know measurements, it's a quick and easy way to make a skirt. My thread is finished. Yeah. Thread and my strap is finished. Let me just change this thread here out. I always have bobbins filled up. Instead of having to stop and spool, I always have my bobbins ready, extra bobbins ready, in the color that I'm using at the time. Just the back stitch that because it's finished. Yeah, I'm just gonna stitch this all the way to the end. And that's it. So now you go over to the iron. I'm gonna go over to the ironing board and press my skirt so you can see. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna iron my skirt. So I didn't open my seams at the beginning, so I'm just gonna press them open now. It's always a good practice to iron as you go, press as you go. So now I'm going to do the hem. And then I'm going to do my waistband. So you pull it and you press, pull it and you press. I'm going to flip it over. If your ironing board is small enough, you can slip your skirt over the ironing board, but this ironing board is pretty wide. So I just gonna do it on top of it. So you see how your hem is straight and nice? Your stitches straight and nice. Any other threads you see hanging like this, do not pull it off, please. Clip it off with your scissors. I'm gonna clip that after. When you pull your threads, you can start unraveling the thread sometimes. And then you have to go and stitch it all over again. So do not do that.